before I kickstart this video, I just want to say that I haven't posted in a while due to a couple of reasons, mainly because I had lots of things going on in the background, but also because I was in the process of rebranding the YouTube channel. Now, DeFi Ascension is our main brand, is our community, still kicking, still amazing, and join us if you haven't, by the way, and that is our core brand. But the YouTube channel itself will become Yield and DeFi, and that is mainly because that's what I spend most of my time in crypto, researching places and yield opportunities in true DeFi protocols, aka protocols driven by revenue and not by other people's money. And since I share all of that info on YouTube, why not, combine both? Have it be the trademark and have it be, the face of the YouTube channel itself. So that will happen from now on. Again, the names are separate, so this is just YouTube. Our Telegram community will be DeFi Ascension. Just wanted to put it out there, and let's go on. Zyberswap on Arbitrum used to be perhaps my favorite project to cover on this channel. I have made numerous videos on it, you can check them out, they're still there. I haven't made one for 3 months now for the simple reason that there isn't much to discuss, to be honest. But recently something interesting has happened and we need to talk about it, and I'm gonna mention why that is. Now, the price of the ZIP token, if you go to the chart right now, you will clearly see the explosion in terms of percentage points that has occurred for the past 42 days. A sharp rise from the all-time low in terms of price appreciation of 335%, give or take. Now, sure, you can speculate and say this is mainly because of the recent market rally, Bitcoin ETF news, Ethereum ETF news, alts rallying, announcements here and there. 100%, there is some factual evidence behind this, but there are also many specific Zyberswap reasons as to why that is. And I'm gonna kick things off by referencing a very important metrics that you should look at when analyzing a DEX, and that is the volume to TVL ratio. Because the higher that is, the more fees, the more money you make by providing liquidity. And if you go on DeFi Llama to the volume/change section, you can basically assess the highest ratios for all of the DEXs that are Arbitrum amongst other chains. So if you compare Zyberswap, which is at 0.9 right now, remember, it's the volume divided by the TVL. So the more volume, the higher that number. If it's bigger than 1, then it's amazing. And if it's close to 1, then it's also fine. So 0.9 is quite good, in my personal opinion. And that is honestly impressive if you compare this to the likes of Camelot, which are at 0.77. So it's higher than that. And that is the most amazing part in my personal opinion. Remember, the TVL for, if you want to compare these two DEXs, are heaps apart. Zyberswap has lost a total of 95% of its total value locked, whereas Camelot has been increasing in that metric. So just something to keep in mind. But again, this is an aggregate ratio. If you want more specifics, you have to go on the Zyberswap DEX. And if you go on the analytics tab, which is access through more analytics, you will see that for the most favorable pair on the platform, that ratio is very close to 3, and that's ETH/USDC. So that is quite high. And the people who pay attention to these things will benefit the most from those fees acquired, right? So keep in mind, one very specific and most famous phrase is that you will probably make money where no one is looking. When there are so many eyes on something, then means there are so many people that want to get a piece of the pie, means you will get less. So just something to think about. Now the second point is that liquid ZIP is very hard to come by nowadays. Because if you put your liquidity on those farms, so if I go to farm and I check what's out there, even though it says that you will earn ZIP tokens, you won't be. All right, so what you'll be earning versus that is the staked version of the ZIP token, which you can stake in the profit sharing vault, hence the term. So if you go right now, you see the profit sharing vault, and then you're gonna get a portion of the ETH Wrapped ETH, ARB, and SZIP, they have allocated per epoch, which is every week. So it renews every week. Meaning, the only way for you to get liquid ZIP is to either buy at market price or redeem the SZIP that you get through farming with your LPs. But if you want the full 1-to-1 ratio, you have to wait 180 days. Meaning, sell pressure has completely been neutralized. And if there's more value to the staked version, the only way from here should be, in theory, up. All right. And honestly, in regards to partnerships and development, the team is keeping the pace. All right. So they're still at it. They're still pushing. And you can clearly recognize this. If you go on the Telegram or Twitter, you will see many announcements, you will see many campaigns, you will see many partnerships. So there's a lot going on still. And in my personal opinion, the one that started the whole thing, or the biggest catalyst behind the price rise, is most probably the announcement of Zyberswap v2. Because date-wise, it coincides perfectly. So that announcement was made on the 25th of October. The price started to push up about a day after or so. All right, so it could be a seller news event when Zyberswap v2 gets rolled out, but I gotta say, I don't think the sell pressure will take the ZIP token back down to where it was at its all-time low. All right, so I'm pretty sure there will be a correction at some point, maybe when the price is a bit higher, but as long as the DEX is producing revenue, as long as there's good value capture to the staked version of the ZIP token, then this is what you should care about. Not the price of the asset, because for me, if I want to invest into a perpetual DEX or a normal decentralized exchange, I want to focus on the value capture around its native asset and in terms of fees, how much I can make at the end of the day. Real profit, not just made up profit from an inflated token. So not fake yield, I want real yield. And that is what's most important. So it's a simple equation, really. The more revenue it produces, the more buyer pressure there will be on the token, or more TVL will be put in to get that SZIP to capture the value that is given to the SZIP vault stakers. And there's also the vice versa scenario where the less revenue it produces, meaning SZIP will no longer hold so much value, people will start farming and redeeming, or redeeming what they already have, and that will drive the price of ZIP eventually into a downtrend and very close to being negligible. So again, for me at least, as long as the DEX is doing well, as long as the DEX is heading into the right direction, I see no reason to abandon it. I would keep supporting as long as it gives me in return of doing so. All right, so for me, that is the most important thing, and not the price of the asset itself. For me, that should be at the bottom of the list when you look at the metrics. All right, I hope I brought you some value with this. I just wanted to give a quick refresher on Zyberswap because I feel like it's a DEX that has, been exploding during the hype of Arbitrum, but now it's at a point where nobody is talking about it. It's still there, it's still doing its thing, and let's see if there will be a comeback. And keep in mind that we have a very cool room called DeFi Ascension. If you want to join us, the link will be in the description below. It's on Telegram. Very cool individuals, matured investors. We discuss many things DeFi, DEXs, perpetual DEXs, DeFi protocols, lending and borrowing protocols, you call it. And there will also be some degenerate side stuff going on as well. So if you enjoy this type of conversation and this type of content, feel free to join us. We'll be lucky to have you. And with that, see you in the next one. Have a good one.